Greetings, my fellow drones of society, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to apparently a very rainy day in the regular adventure mode. Today we are doing our very first challenge run of the channel, that is to say, the drone or mothership only challenge, in which I can only do damage by using AI-controlled craft, and hopefully we'll have loads and loads of them rather than just a few very strong ones. The rules will be on the screen in just a moment, because it's gonna be a little bit weird not taking manual control from the very start. And actually, I feel like by the end of the game, it's not gonna be too difficult, but the early game is gonna be an absolute nightmare. Now, the reason why this video has taken a while to get out is because this is actually my third attempt at recording this video. The first attempt was interrupted by the huge patch landing, making everything a bit more balanced, and the second attempt was because I decided not to do it in the land mode after a long time, because things were actually a bit too easy, especially in the early game with enemy designs being so small as well. And honestly, Plasma was just breaking everything, because small craft apparently are quite weak versus Plasma, since the whole point of it is to destroy large chunks of blocks. That being said, we won't necessarily focus completely on Plasma, but since that is the new weapon and it has now been implemented into the stable branch, of course we're gonna have some drones using Plasma, because why wouldn't we? So to begin with then, all we need to do is just make sure that this tiny little raft is armoured up, we have some more batteries than we currently have, and then we need to make some little tiny planes with little tiny missiles so we don't get destroyed straight away. Wow, since my last attempt, with what I thought was just this patch, this has changed again. So yeah, the designs of a lot of the AI stuff has been completely tweaked now. For the most part, really like them. So our first craft, like I was mentioning, is going to be an absolutely tiny little missile plane, because these drones are something I actually have experience with building. And honestly, despite the fact they're going to be just the vital components, enemies tend to have a tough time tracking them, and especially hitting them. We do have detection systems currently online. So that should cost, I'm thinking, about 2,000. It's going to be pretty simple, honestly. So I'm thinking single jet, then we have some of the pitch controls, then we'll just have some custom wings to make it look a little bit better. This thing will not look that good. Just putting it out there, it will not look that good, because it's going to be really simple, just the vital components and practically nothing else. I might be lazy and go with the jet stabilizers. Those things do tend to work on small craft like this. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Either way. Next we need the local weapon controller, and then the only really expensive thing is the small missile. Actually no, let's go with the rail launcher instead. Still, that's going to be the whole price. Essentially, this is going to be just a small missile system with wings. Okay, so we have the missile controller only able to fire forwards. It doesn't have an AI yet, but we'll do that in a second. Very basic detection. I mean, this is as basic as it gets. Essentially, it's just a matter of all we need to do is know the general direction of the enemy. Since we're relying on small missiles, they don't really care. They have their own detection built in, so that's fine. Also, it's raining really badly in-game. That is incredibly irritating, and I'll have to go west, since I think that's clearer weather. Anyway, let's drop this thing to make sure this works. Yep, so I can drop them at a single button press, and then recall them. Perfect. Now just to set up the AI. The first enemy is the rat, with absolutely lovely mimic work there. It looks lovely. Also, I love the weapon there, which I'm assuming is a missile launcher of some kind, probably mines. Well, apparently the enemy is so small, our missiles are having trouble locking onto it. But in a similar fashion, it doesn't seem like the enemy can actually see us, so well, the AI seems to be working. Yep, they go towards it, then they turn around, they gain altitude again, and then attack once again. Just the basic bombing run AI. Well, pretty awful first fight, but I'm just going to leave it there then, because it can't see us. I may change the detection system settings so that there's a base level of detection, which just means that everything can at least understand where everything else is vaguely. It won't be enough to actually aim proper weapons like plasma or advanced cannons, but it'll be enough that that won't happen again. We'll see if any other designs suffer from that problem. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, just here to say a few major things about this video. As you can probably tell by the title and the actual length of the video, I've decided this isn't going to be a full playthrough because there is just so much to this challenge run. With the concept of having loads of drones and making different designs and everything else, it would just be an utter disservice to the experience making it this 3-hour long full playthrough and having to cut out so much for all of the different designs. That being said, the first couple of episodes have already been recorded at the time of me recording this, so expect the videos out pretty shortly, one after the other, until I'm going on vacation at the end of the month. So, this will be a short-lived mini-series, and don't worry, I will definitely be finishing this. So, if you enjoy From the Depths and want to see more, then of course, likes and comments help out with the algorithm so much, especially now the algorithm expects me to do full playthroughs. I'm being very bad at being a YouTuber right now. Anyway, back to the past, and building our first vehicles and our aircraft carrier fortress. Okay, the first enemy we should be able to fight back, the one we just fought over there, which I probably just skipped ahead, was a Vanguard, which got taken out pretty much instantly by a stray shot. Hopefully our planes are actually going towards the right target. They are. As you can see, we have quite a few of them now. All resources from here need to go on improving the Mothership, which might end up as an aircraft carrier, honestly. I've been trying to think what I want the final design to be, and a slow lumbering aircraft carrier would be really cool as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our little planes, which is still very cheap. Remember, if one gets destroyed, it's absolutely fine. They are worth less than just a chunk of armor. Just see it as a part of a ship being attacked. Oh, it does seem like the enemy is attacking our main craft, which is a problem since that one can't move. Okay, the EMP was enough to destroy the enemy. Beautiful. Maybe I should make their missiles a bit longer range. It's taking them a long time to actually get there. Now, what I need to do is be able to move. Well, we're moving slow and steady, but the important thing is we're moving, and there is some red portals, so I'm going to go straight into difficulty 5 at 12 meters per second, because we have a single propeller, because I don't want to spend any more. We need to have enough resources to replace the planes as they get shot down. As soon as any enemies have any real anti-aircraft systems, I think one light hit would take out these pretty much instantly. Also, ignore the fact one plane's too much to the right. I'll fix that as the craft gets bigger. The smoker here to say goodbye to difficulty 0. You know what, I'm going to stop my craft because clearly that thing isn't in range of us yet, and it has large missiles. So you know what, good luck hitting the little planes instead, because if you hit a plane, that's not really any resource lost. I'm assuming it's just a couple of large missiles. There we go. Oh, they float. Wow, they are accurate. Still a victory nonetheless. Lots of confetti there for us, but still, yeah, one of our planes were taken out in that fight. The first casualty of war. Let's go and get that resource and then go through the portal. The swarm has been released against the first of the difficulty 5s, and it is absolutely adorable. Look at this thing! Look at how insanely cute that is. I absolutely love this. Absolutely adore this. Oh, I should have used propellers on mine. That'd have been better. Okay, we're in range. They've been firing that whole time. Ooh, and they were out of range. And I think that was a perfect kill. Yep, nothing on our half. And apparently another enemy spawned in, but it's also just... it lost control. Okay, let's collect resources from our first kill. Okay, the plane should move way faster now. Yep, they are. Perfect. Why are you suddenly stuck? If I do a sharp turn, will you be able to get back to where you're meant to go, or are you going to go into the water? There's an easy, safe route to get back to where you're meant to go. Well, that was one way of doing it. You know what? I think I'm just going to go straight to difficulty 10, to be completely honest. Maybe I'll wait until one more enemy spawns in, but yeah, there's a portal right there for us. I know they're just the most basic craft ever, but I'm starting to grow really fond of these little planes. They're just so fun. And naturally now it's going dark, so I won't be able to see... what is that? The smoker. Okay, it looks like missiles? It's hard to say. Ooh, the high explosives definitely hit something important there. Well, I didn't see their missiles, but all of ours are okay. Probably offline now. Yeah, that is not going to be functioning. They'll be destroyed very soon. The fragments seem to do well, and the EMP does okay, but the high explosive went in such small missiles doesn't really seem that great. Why did you not get shot out? Oh, it's okay. You'll be fine, Larry the Blaine. This thing does have an anti-air missile, but nope, it's gone. It didn't actually score a single hit. These things, because of just how sheer small they are, make them absolute nightmares for detection systems. Now the problem is, this fight did last absolutely ages. So they're already showing their weakness, which is they just can't get through any real armor or any real protection. If the enemy has a single surge protector, for instance, the EMP from these tiny missiles is useless. If they have stacked armor, the explosive and fragments are useless. What these are going to be here for is distractions and annoyances to soften up targets. Next, I guess, I'll probably build a helicopter. Let's grab this resource and then go for the red zone. Okay, a bit of a neater formation there at least. So eventually, if we do go with the aircraft carrier, we're going to have them all actually on the aircraft carrier, but for the time being, it's just so much easier to just float them above us. The scuttle gun. I'm not entirely sure what that's aiming at, honestly. Should be able to see us. It's a nice, calm day at the moment, no big waves. Oh, yep, it has in fact fired. Okay, that might be going for the Mothership, actually. It makes sense. I can't imagine the cram vessel would be particularly bothered with smaller targets. Really need longer range missiles. Any future drones will definitely have those. Flare didn't work. Beautiful fragments taking off. Actually, a few important things there. I think the EMP may have taken off some of its detection systems. That's it. Showing what these craft are really meant to do. Just disable targets and harass them. Not exactly destroy them, but certainly enough to make them stop firing at us for a while. I'll start going towards the resource zone. Another enemy over there. I think that's just spawned in, so hopefully... In fact, you know what I'll do? I will swap targets. So the other craft was another scuttle gun. Again, 2 attacks, and it was disabled. However, now there's this. Yeah, that's very expensive. Also, it's completely taking out our audio, which is interesting. 141,000 resources. And if it's what I'm thinking of, yeah, it has laser systems on top. I am very nervous about this, but
engaging now.
I'm still gonna go for it. Now remember, we can always send our planes back and heal them if necessary, so I'm gonna stay decently far away. Hopefully it keeps on being distracted by the other scuttle gun, because it's definitely firing what I think is flak, since I think this is an anti-aircraft. I'm just hoping our attack run type, where we go towards it then away, means it won't use those lasers against us. I hope. Its frag shells seem to be very weak, but of course against our designs it doesn't really matter. What I'm hoping is an EMP hits this and takes out its local weapon controller. Nope, that almost completely hit the back there. That's something. Okay, that... In fact, that might be a local weapon controller. I can't remember what they look like now, and they've all changed. Some of the laser got took out. That's definitely a wireless receiver, I think, or an... Actually, let's have a quick look, see at the new model. So AI, it might have been a connector, actually. No, it definitely wasn't the local weapon controller. I think it was a receiver, though. So it's definitely something important that got taken out. I swapped over 2 of the fragment planes over to EMP, purely because fragments will not work against this target. Oh, are the laser systems just anti-missile? Oh, I thought they were aircraft. Anti-aircraft, those. Well, hopefully then, if we keep on doing this, taking out little bits here and there, maybe we'll hit something vital eventually. The enemy is worth multiple times what we're worth, so... Uh-oh. That's a dead enemy. We are firing at something else in distance. Thank you! No idea why it hates firing against aircraft so much with its anti-aircraft gun, but I'm not going to question it. Okay, I see a lot of laser components. Whatever that was is gone. Bit of armor from where we actually hit. Again, I think it might just be a connector, but still, it looks like they're actually firing at me. I hear the explosion, just can't see them. Oh no, I see explosions in the air. They're definitely now firing at our planes. What I'm hoping is that some of those were the general processing sections or something like that, so that their weapon controllers are a bit weaker. What are you firing at? Yeah, maybe it's going to direct it on something important there. Seems like its accuracy is just really messed up. Honestly, if it wasn't attacking another ship, we would have just had to run. Thankfully, it doesn't seem particularly fast, and its range is limited with those flak shells. Its weapon's offline. Its weapon is officially offline. This is going to be a victory no matter how long it takes now. Oh, I remember this thing from the land adventure. Has a nasty particle cannon to it. Don't think it's particularly vulnerable to EMP, but definitely uses EMP of its own with the particle cannon. Well, we'll let it use up its power here, fighting that thing. Difficulty 10 is a lot scarier than I expected. We've got incredibly lucky. Simple as that. I should have stayed in 5 for longer. I think I'm just too used to the land mode. I stopped using EMP in the land mode because I found it was a bit too overpowered. In the sea mode, I never thought really the same, because much larger craft, it's easier to defend them, but it seems like in the early difficulties, EMP is still pretty nasty. Except for this thing. It's just, we took out its main gun, and then we're just hitting it and doing very, very little. We need at least one drone which just does damage, and I think that's going to be our plasma drone. So as soon as this fight's over, we're building a plasma drone. That took like 4 minutes. Thankfully, there's nothing else that spawned in. I'm still gathering stuff from the resource zone. We're going to build a plasma copter or a plasma boat or something. Maybe advanced cannons. I don't know. Okay, so I'm thinking something like this. The problem is, this won't be that big, and the reason why that's a problem is because I have been reading how plasma works. Now that the stable branch is out and this is in the stable branch, plasma seems so much more fun when it's a bigger, more powerful shot. Because how it works is that the chambers will hold charges, the generators make the charges, so the more chambers you have, the more charges you can fire per shot, and they all cluster together, or you can just rapid fire them one after the other. If a plasma attack destroys a block, it causes an explosion. That explosion can't go through air, but can go through blocks. And for every block the explosion destroys, it will then feed back into the plasma, making the explosion stronger. Now, it's not 100%, obviously, otherwise the attack will just go through every block of armor in the entire enemy craft. But what it means is that if that initial shot is strong enough, the chain reaction can be absolutely brutal, taking out a whole chunk of armor of the enemy, and that's the whole point of it. It's to counter heavy armor spam, it's to counter heavy armor and the wedges and everything else by going through them and destroying them and quickly replenishing its own damage. To an extent. Again, not 100%, I think it's like 50% of the damage needed gets refunded if it then destroys another block, something like that. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but the point is, it's good versus lots of armor. And it's really good if you have a lot of them fired together. But with this size of craft, I don't know if that's going to be possible, so maybe it'll be rapid fire, or maybe just a couple of shots. I think I can probably fit 8 of these chambers in, the 4-meter chambers. Maybe shooting from 2 guns, both of which fire 4 at a time, so 4 shots in the burst. That's not great, but I guess wooden armor it should be okay. Well, I'll see as I continue to build it anyway. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the charges used per projectile doesn't increase the damage the way I thought it would. Oh, it really wants you to use a lot of charges then. If a single is 840, then 2 should be 1,680, but it's not. It's 1,776. Yeah, okay, so this will go 760 meters per second, which is pretty nice. That's enough damage to carve through a lot of block types there. It does have the armor penetration value still of 100, which is the default for plasma. I was thinking 4, but There's the risk, because if it misses, it's going to take a long time to reload, but that should do enough damage and hopefully chunk off pieces of the enemy. And this is still a cheap craft. I mean, it's not done yet, it doesn't have the propellers, and I haven't really sorted out the AI, but at the moment, it costs only 16,000, which really isn't much in this mode. Maybe that's all we'll go with? There you are, Larry. Larry, don't look at the viewers that way. I'm sure they've already liked the video. Larry, don't say such horrible things. Maybe we should set a minimum firing distance. Odds of those hitting? Yeah, very low. Oh, it's the Atlas! I haven't seen one of you in a while. Please, everyone, remain targeting the Atlas. One plasma hit, which I think is all those blocks there. Okay, we're still moving weird enough that it's really struggling to actually hit us. Okay, so that's one plasma shot then. Ooh, lovely. Okay, so it does take out a good chunk. A very good chunk. I am still thinking maybe it should be just one gun rather than splitting it. Just because of the size of the craft isn't very big. The overall cost currently of the copters is 15,000. The Atlas, for instance, is 90,000. The copters should be able to take quite a lot of damage from the front. I have quite heavily armored them, though. I mean, damage looks alright. Against stacked wooden armor, at least. Oh, I mean, look at that. That just went straight through and destroyed one of the weapons. I have them set currently to just stand there and not reverse. Maybe I should also get them to reverse. That might be better. Oh, if you direct flak shots, please survive. Prove my building prowess even slightly. I know I'm not particularly good, but please survive at least light flak. Okay, down goes the Atlas. Now for whatever this thing is.
Engaging now.
This is the Scrapper. Much smaller. Okay, it's a lovely chunk already gone. Yep, I mean, I am very happy with that plasma. Again, for a 15 or 16,000 cost craft, we can easily spam these, especially with the cost of the enemies now increasing drastically. Still not sure about the size of the shots, though. I need to get some more practice with plasma in the Sandbox mode just to figure out the perfect sizes. Still, both copters survived the anti-air fire. And pretty well, in fact. Yeah, a few holes here and there, but I'm very, very happy with how that went. A lovely first test. Let's get that resource, make a third copter, go to difficulty 15. Now building our third copter, and now what I need to do is upgrade our main craft. I know I said the next craft was going to be a brand new drone, but I think this is the best bet just for now. Just one more copter to make sure we can defeat anything we see, and I can just sit here and quickly change everything around, because currently it's just wooden armor and space armor, which is just asking for trouble. Things are going to explode. So what I need to do is just build a shell around all this, and I'm thinking a flat surface, so we can start transforming this into an actual aircraft carrier. Not going to happen instantly, because that's going to need to be pretty big, but at least we can start building the foundation for it. Can things please stop attacking us while I'm just sitting here building? Oh, that plasma burst was beautiful. Look at that, just going straight through the back section of this thing. It just flew over, I think it dropped bombs or something, yeah. But then that attack just ended it before it could do another bombing run. Admittedly, I should have been more aware and not let it do that first bombing run, but sometimes things just happen. So I've got an idea for what I want this to look like, and yeah, it looks bizarre right now, because it's not going to be your traditional aircraft carrier. No, it's going to be a Lathrixian monstrosity. Wow, the casket bolt has changed a lot. Love the new style of it. That bouncing is really annoying at this range. All that plasma is missing. Eventually, I can fire the plasma a lot faster. Just at the moment, it needs to be that slow, so I just can't hold that much power. I say slow is 900 meters per second, but plasma can go 2,000 plus, so yeah. So this is currently what we're leaving difficulty 10 with, and I think you can almost see what I'm going for now, just about. I've decided I want to build a floating fortress, a floating village, a floating base of some kind, as opposed to a traditional aircraft carrier. So what we're going to have is the centerpiece will be a main fortification eventually, rather than the old boat. We're going to have loads more of these strips everywhere. I'm going to build proper helipads eventually, so they're just going to sit here for now. I will give them somewhere properly eventually. At the moment, this is working, so that's fine. And then in the center, we can hold what I'm thinking is 2 hovercraft, one facing forwards, one facing backwards, kind of on the waterline, so this area is remaining free. That's the idea I've got at the moment. And honestly, I think as a skeleton, I can kind of see where it's going. Yeah, difficulty 10. I'm quite happy with this weird scrap heap. So this was just the Steamworks, which doesn't really have much weaponry, so it's pretty much a free kill. Welcome to difficulty 15. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the copters and completely replace them with the new hovercraft, because although I am finding the plasma very fun, they're just not doing enough for their cost. The planes are still doing enough for their cost just because of how insanely cheap they are. All of the planes make up the cost of one of the copters, and the copters aren't expensive. The planes are just so ridiculously cheap, and everything is having a tough time locking onto them. So they're just free little bits of damage and really good at destabilizing enemy flyers. But once the copters are back, I'm going to scrap them all and get to work on a hovercraft. Or at least, I'll scrap them as I'm building, because otherwise I'll be completely defenseless in my little floating fort. So, I've just decided, after looking at all the footage and everything else, I'm not going to have this as a full playthrough, which probably won't do as well on the channel, but the thing is, I don't think the full playthrough will do any of this justice. Because of how many craft I want to build throughout this little mini-series, and because of all the different intricacies with having the drones and building up our main vehicle, the full playthrough would end up being 3 or 4 hours long, and I'd have to cut out so many details about each of the different designs and all of the new designs of the enemies, and I really don't want to do that because I think that'll be a disservice to the entire experience. So, although the channel may suffer from this, we're going to do this in the old Let's Play format, and I'll try and get this done over the next week or so. I am going on holiday, but I'm fairly certain I can get all that done before we go, so expect a few videos back to back over the next week or two. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. I really do hope you've enjoyed this, because I am having so much fun in this really weird way of playing. Next time, hovercraft. And maybe some cram cannons at some point.